Get your lightsabers up, everyone, and please welcome to the Megacon 2024 stage. Let's hear it for Ewan Mcgregor! Thank you so much for being here. We have a sold-out packed house of 2,600+ people out there that are here to see you. Yeah, let's make some noise, Megacon. It is a double Jedi feature. So we're going to talk to you for 40 minutes, and then we're going to bring out someone else that we know that is a famous Jedi. But let's kick things off.
My brother.
Your brother.
Yeah. My brother got a little lost in his way there. He wouldn't listen to me. Didn't take orders.
If only he'd listen. If only he'd listen. We are obviously here in Orlando. If you're a local folk from Orlando or Florida, make some noise right now. If you traveled from outstate, you're from a different state or different country, make some noise, you were here for this.
Yeah, I traveled from another state. Another state of mind, I think.
Where were you before this? Were you?
I was in Scotland after Christmas for New Year, and then we went down to. I was doing this big series called A Gentleman in Moscow. Thank you. And my union SAG had a strike, and during the so we had to stop. We'd almost finished it, but we hadn't quite. So I went to Scotland just after Christmas. I spent New Year in Scotland, which was fantastic. It's been a long time since I had we have a big Scottish New Year's are fantastic. They're called Hogmanay, and it's a special sort of celebration where you say goodbye to the old year and you welcome in the new, and it's still not the same anywhere else in the world, really. And I just hadn't been at home for a Hogmanay in a long, long time, so it was really nice to do that. Then we went to Manchester. It's probably too big of an answer for a simple question.
No.
And
we're wrapped. The audience is wrapped.
We finished up Gentleman in Moscow. We had 8 days. We shot that. I went back to Scotland. Spent 10 days in Scotland. I made a nice little film with my brother. My brother Colin is 2 years older than me, and we went off and made this little film up in Scotland for a travel company called Expedia that I work with.
Yes.
And Expedia. Expedia.
Oh God.
And we made this film. It was really fun, just the two of us knocking about the Highlands for 2 days, and they shot us in these different locations. It was very nice. And then I went to Sweden because I did a film last year called Mother Couch with a director. Thank you. And thank you very much. With a director called Nicholas Larsson, who's Swedish. And because again of the strike, I wasn't able to go with him to open that film in any of the film festivals that it was at. It was at TIFF, and I think it was in Venice, or I forget where it was, but I wasn't able to go to it. And his home film festival was in Sweden 3 nights ago, so I went to that. And then I had the flight. Oh my God! I had to get here from Gothenburg in Sweden, which is a lovely place, but it involved 3 flights via Iceland. I'm just so.
Did they take you in a loop? 3 flights from Iceland, just landing in Iceland?
Just thinking, how does this work? I'm so I don't tend to look at the things till the last minute. So it was the night before, and I looked at the thing on my phone. I was like, Mary, we've got 3 flights tomorrow, and we had our 2-year-old with us, our 2.5-year-old son, Laurie. I was like, oh, I know, he's the best. Oh my God! But I was thinking, this is. So it was just a nightmare, you know. Who do we think? You know, every flight, like 2 hours at an airport between it. There were 3 flights.
Oh my God.
The last one was 8 hours. And he was just like, nah, I'm done. I don't want to be on an airplane anymore. And I was like, join the club, son.
Orlando, Ewan suffered through 3 flights to get here just for you. Come on!
I'll do it all again tomorrow.
Which brings me to this, so Scotland to Sweden to Orlando. We're in the home of Disney World and Galaxy's Edge, which is the Star Wars that who's been?
I went to the one in LA. I went to the one in LA. Mary and I went the night of. When was it? The night before. No, I think they'd opened. It was when the Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
Mm-hmm.
Obi-Wan Canary? that's the spin-off that you don't know about.
Oh!
That's his cousin.
No spoilers.
Obi-Wan Canary. On his mission to 2 to 1.
He has like a little bird that the story of the bird.
Canary, that's right. It was a little laser sword. What was I saying? So we'd gone to Anaheim to the celebration where they showed the first couple of episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Mm-hmm. Some of you might be there. Woo! It was fantastic. I mean, it was so exciting to be amongst all the people and see it on the big screen. And then the next day, it was the first time I'd done a Comic-Con. I'd never done one before. And I just thought, well, I'm in Anaheim, and it was celebration. I thought, I'm going to do it and see what it's like. And I did it, and I realised I liked it, and that's why I'm still doing them here. So, because it's awful nice to meet you.
Yeah.
It's really nice. So, but that next day, we had some time, and we went to Disney. So we went. No, it was that night. I can't remember. We went at night, and it was just like me and Mary walking around, you know. With a cap on, and we just about got away with it. We didn't get
just in public.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but I hadn't seen it before, so.
If those people knew that you were just wandering around.
I caught a couple of people's eye, you know, and I was like.
You're talking about going to conventions. Obviously, you're meeting a ton of people. Orlando, there's a ton of not only Star Wars fans, but Star Wars collectors, right? They collect lightsabers and different items from the movies, both real and then fabricated by artists and artisans. What's the most unique thing that you've gotten this weekend? Has something stood out to you in terms of a prop or an item or a fan experience?
Exactly. There's an awful lot of nice fan art that we see
yes.
while we're signing or while we're taking photographs of people. There's some nice. There's always nice. I just like when young people have done drawings, you know, and I always like to try and I always encourage them to keep going, you know, and because it is such that side of our nature is often the one that gets sort of trampled down first, you know, in our trying to get through school and college and into jobs is that childish desire to just put a pen to paper and make a drawing. I think is really nice to hold on to that, in whatever other way. It might be playing music or whatever it be. I like that.
I love that. Yeah, there's so much good fan art out there.
This little screening room, and then press play and left, you know. So I just watched 1, 2, and 3 alone. And it was awesome to see. I mean, it was just incredible to see. But because I was so thrilled with her work, she's so talented. Deborah Chow, our director.
Yeah, let's give it up for Deborah Chow.
And she directed them all. You know, it wasn't usually in television series. There'll be a director will maybe direct the first 1 or 2 maybe to sort of set the tone. And then often that's it, and then other directors things that I was supposed to know about the world. You know, she's keeping me right.
That's funny. Was there something that you kind of came back to, or that you forgot?
All the time.
Names of planets, names of droids.
Yeah, and names of everything. No, she was brilliant. And but when I watched the last three, I did the same. So I went away. They weren't quite finished for what I watched the first three, and then I came back some weeks later, and again sat alone. But I was like, the sixth one really got me. You know, I was just sitting there with tears rolling down my face watching it. I was so touched by it.
Oh, and so were we, of course.
So pleased. So happy. Just so happy to be that we managed to do it, and also that we did it like that. Like I feel like we could have. You know, there's always it was originally going to be a movie, and you know, I've often thought, well, should it have been a movie? But I kind of think it's great that we did it that way. And it's a longer story, and hopefully it's more satisfying as a result. We got more screen, you know, more time to weave a story. Just hope we can do another one. Can everyone write to Disney? If we could just, I'll give you some email addresses at the end. We'll just say, dear Disney, let's have a bit more of Obi-Wan Kenobi, please.
Right, dear Disney at Disney.com, yeah.
I think Disney America, it should find them.
Yeah. Talk about coming back. We are about to bring, as you just said, your brother, Anakin Skywalker, on stage a little bit later.
We shoot to Australia where we shot the second one and the third one. And so Hayden arrived, and I just was so impressed with him right off the bat. He was such a serious young actor, and he just had so much thought about it, and he talked about it in a deep way, like he was really trying to mine it for everything that he could get out of it as an actor, and I really admired that about him. And we were shooting away, you know, I didn't live in Australia, neither did he, so we spent a lot of time together, and we would just have this, and we'd spend a lot of time learning these fights, and then we had that relationship on screen, you know, the sort of brother, what's the fancy word for brotherhood? Paternal? No, that's father.
Oh, yeah, fraternity.
Fraternal relationship?
Yeah, is it? Fraternal, yeah, fraternal.
Okay, bit jet lag.
Yeah. Three flights.
Three flights, everybody. Brotherly relationship. And I just love him to bits. And then we didn't see each other for a long time, so when I knew that we were going to be doing this series, and I met him by chance during the lockdown. I met him somewhere, and I was able to say, look, I think we're going to do a series of Obi-Wan. And at that point, we didn't know exactly what the story was. I had no idea if we were going to, so I wasn't able to say, you know, I want you to be in it or anything like that. It's because I didn't know yet where the story was going to go. And but then when I did know that we were going to ask him to do it, God. And then when we got on set, I mean, I've never seen so many people on a film set in my life. I came on set and I was like, there's a lot of people on this film set today. What's going on? And then I turned around and Hayden's coming on. I'm like, I see, because everybody was there to see him.
Yeah.
And it was
both of you. They were here.
And it was kind of, and the first thing we did, I think I'm right in saying the first thing we shot was the flashback sequence in episode 4. And so we were also like, we looked like we did in, I mean, we had dots all over our faces. Maybe do a little bit of help making us younger. We almost got our knuckles hit smacked. Yeah. I mean, it's just par for the course with that kind of thing. But what's interesting is this sort of, we can talk about it, but how the swords have evolved.
For sure.
And when we made the prequels, we had a guy who had like a cart. He had like, what?
Somebody named Thomas.
Thomas,
Is it
yeah.
Thomas?
Thomas, the lightsaber maker. Is he here? Thomas? Are you here?
Thomas is in the bathroom. Somebody get him. No.
I was going on to say Thomas, obviously, had his cart,
Yeah.
And we had these. They were made of some sort of alloy. They were metal.
For sure.
And they would bend after every single take. And when Hayden and I would fight each other, often didn't make it through the take because we just went at each other so hard. And that they've changed now. So now they have actual swords that light up, which is what gave us those amazing lighting changes in that end scene in the series. By chance, as we were rehearsing the scene, you know, we had our swords here, and his face was blue, we were blue. Someone get that phone, will you? And then as we moved over here, our faces turned red, and it was just like magic, you know. We were like, oh my god. So we, but they don't fight as well as the old ones do. They have a tendency to sort of go, sort of like, it just isn't quite as satisfying as when they used to go, but we would always catch each other's fingers because they don't have George, in his wisdom, decided not to give them a hilt. Most sword designers in the world, you know, throughout history, have put a hilt there so that you don't get your knuckles wrapped. But anyway,
and then I still need one. And then Kylo Ren decides his hilt is a lightsaber, which is completely ridiculous.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, he's got all the protection he needs right there. Look at there. Look at that. Is that too much to ask for? A little. Thank you. What's the next question?
That was it, yeah. All right, this one is from Cyril Baranowski from Orlando, Florida. What's up, Cyril? Here we go.
Good friend of Thomas's.
Yeah. Everybody knows Thomas. We talked a little bit about just the excitement about returning to the role in your first day. We said, were there any challenges, to quote their question, returning to the role of Obi-Wan after so long, after so many years?
Yeah, I mean, the first one was the accent. Like I went to do some castings with Deborah, and we read with several different actors for some of the roles, and it was months before we started the shoot, but I went down, we did it on the set of the Mandalorian set on a Sunday when they weren't working, so we had a bit of a set there, and I went down there on a Sunday morning and I was taken to a dressing room, and there was like Obi-Wan's clothes hanging up, like, so I guess not my old costume, but it certainly looked like some of it could have been. And so suddenly I was putting all this costume back on again and looking in the mirror and going, wow, it's been like a long time.
Yeah.
It sort of hit me in a way that what I was about to do. And then I went on set and I hadn't really given it much thought. I just thought, well, it'll be all right. And I got on set and there was just no, you know, these poor little actors who were reading for all these other roles, and I was just like trying to do the Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan, and it was just coming out like some posh English guy, and nothing at all like Obi-Wan or Alec Guinness. And so that was the first challenge. Was like, oh, I see, I've got to remind myself, and that's what I always did in the prequels. Was I just sort of watched Alec Guinness all the time, and not
a lightsaber or skilled with the Force, so you lose one ability.
That's not a choice. That's the same thing.
That's the correct answer. That's the correct answer. That's my fault. Very nice. We have a few more, a couple more. Would you rather kiss a Wookiee or kiss a Gungan?
I think as a Jedi, you're sort of you're not meant to kiss anyone.
Oh, that's also the correct answer. Neither. Yeah, very good.
I don't think that's allowed.
2 for 2. 2 for 2. All right, here we go. Number 7. Who has the better hair, Obi-Wan or Anakin?
Oh well, depends what episode you're talking about. I think we all know in episode 2 it's a pretty tasty hair.
Let's see. But we had it was close. It was 58 for Anakin, 41 for Obi-Wan.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see how Hayden answers it a bit. And last one, Ewan. Join the rebellion or join the Empire? Should we pick?
What?
Yeah, would you rather join the rebellion or join the Empire? It was you.
If it was me?
Yeah.
Well, again, I'd have the rebellion, of course.
Yeah, of course.
run into him. Oh, I don't know.
Oh no. Uh-oh, what's happening here? Looks like who's coming out? Oh my gosh, everybody, it's Hayden Christensen! Just here for you and Ewan. Let's hear it for Hayden Christensen.
Thank you so much. Ewan and I were backstage earlier talking about just how nice this event has been and how much we've enjoyed getting to meet so many of you. So this has been really great. Thank you.
Thanks so much for coming out. We're so excited to have you here. I want to say, just because he brought it up, he was very jealous of your bomber jacket that you have on here.
Yeah? I just got this sent to me not long ago, so I thought this would be a good place to sport it.
I love it. I love it. Did you, and that kind of brings up a question that we asked you, and obviously you're traveling around the world, you're meeting all these fans at these conventions. We're here in Orlando, it's a big city for Star Wars collectors. Lightsabers and figurines and apparel. What's been like the most interesting thing that you've gotten recently to sign? Or maybe just something out of all your signings, a prop or a replica or an apparel?
Oh, I don't know, there's you know, we signed a lot of lightsabers and Darth Vader helmets, but I just like seeing the new artwork, you know. You see all these artists come and they do these amazing drawings, and so that's sort of what I get a kick out of.
There's a festival of arts going on right now at Epcot, you know. And there were so many great artists just with different versions of you and their takes on it, with different characters. It's so beautiful. I want to ask you, have you been to Galaxy's Edge in either Hollywood or Orlando? Yeah, talk about your experience stepping into that for the first time.
Yeah, I've been a couple of times. I think it was the one in California though, at Disneyland.
For sure.
I don't know that I've been to the one here yet.
Similar, pretty much a replica, just different, yeah.
I would imagine they're similar, but yeah, I did the Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah.
I mean, they do such a great job with it. I always thought it would be such a cool job to be a Disney Imagineer, you know, the people that design the parks and the rides. I think they do such amazing work.
Oh yeah, they're geniuses. Let's kick things off. As fans, we were so lucky to see you return as Anakin in the Obi-Wan series. But then we were even luckier to see you return in Ahsoka. You were touring with us last year, and I knew you had to keep it so secret. You did such an amazing job. Now that it's out there and we know, now that it's out there and we know about it, what is it like getting that double reaction from fans? What is another wave of fan reactions to your appearance in Ahsoka?
I can't tell you just how amazing the whole experience has been for me. You know, coming back on Obi-Wan was incredible. Getting to you know, swing a lightsaber with Ewan again was just a thrill. And then getting the phone call after we wrapped Obi-Wan, I wasn't aware of any other, you know, projects that I would be involved with.
Sure.
After we wrapped, I got a phone call from Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. And I was just so excited again. You know, any chance I get to put on those Jedi robes, I'll take it.
Yeah, we had, obviously in Obi-Wan, we had the Jedi robes from the flashback. We had the suit of Darth with the battle. And then in Ahsoka, we get the battle outfit. You know, the Clone Wars.
I and Jon Favreau, they were sort of walking me through mostly what was going to be in episode 5, and you know, when he started talking about the world between worlds, and then we're going to go on this sort of journey through Ahsoka's memories, and then we're going to get to you know, revisit the Clone Wars. I just thought, you know, I was just so excited about the whole thing.
People have said that that episode 5, Shadow Warrior, is some of the best Star Wars they've ever seen. In terms of it just the feeling of it, like you felt like you were in the world, and also was bringing everything together all at once. Talk about the reaction to that specific episode that you're in, you know, and just how it's really brought fans together from all the different series.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the episode is a really great one, and what Dave Filoni accomplished is really remarkable. You know, sort of the context of it and the way it sort of informs Ahsoka's journey. It's really clever storytelling.
Sure.
But you know, the response has been really nice. I get people coming up to me on the streets just sort of saying like, Ahsoka episode 5. Yeah, I know, me too. But yeah, you know, all of the praise should be directed towards Dave Filoni, because
let's hear it for specifically the shot that I think gave everyone chills and was like, oh, is the quick transition from Anakin's back to Vader. Yeah. Did you talk about that scene, you know, shooting it and then kind of seeing it with post and after post?
Again, I take no credit, because all I did is I showed up, I walked. That's all that was required from me. And the way that, you know, they shot that and they cut it together. And, I just thought that the whole episode came out, you know, better than I could have hoped.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of people also praised you for your integration of some of the mannerisms and of Matt Lanford, you know, your voice actor. Give it up for Matt. It felt like a seamless, again, a merging of two amazing performances, yours from the prequels and Matt's from the show. Did you listen to any of that? Did you study any of that, or did it sort of just come natural just as you were progressing?
No, I've been watching a lot of Clone Wars, so I think there's some process of osmosis. It kind of made its way in. No, it's a period in Anakin's life that I was aware of. I thought was very interesting, and obviously they explored it a lot in the Clone Wars, in the animated show that they did. But the opportunity to get to do that in live action was so compelling, and I wanted to bring it to life in the most sort of exciting way possible, and follow Dave's lead, and just sort of, you know, bring to life what was on the page, because it was all there in the script.
You talked about, you shouted out Dave a bunch of times, rightfully so and respectfully so. Was there anything you were trying to insert in his journey to make sure the audience really followed along?
You mean in terms of the work we did in the prequels, or coming back?
I guess coming back to it after the prequels, yeah, knowing that you were kind of bridging the gap timeline-wise.
You know, yeah, definitely. When we were doing Obi-Wan, we did the flashback sequence, and that was kind of like old hat. Like we'd done that before, and so that was just good fun. Going and doing the scene as Vader, that was new territory.
Right, exactly.
And then the same is true of Ahsoka. You know, playing the sort of wise mentor was a version we'd never sort of seen before. And getting to do that, and then sort of, you know, try to bring to life the Clone Wars Anakin. It's a balancing act, you know. And so even though I know the character, we're still sort of taking him in new directions, and you just hope that it resonates in a way with you guys as it did with me when I read the script.
I think it resonated. Am I right, everybody? A lot of people talk about this scene. We talked about the quick transition from your back to Vader, but I think it was the glint in the eye when you turn from evil to dark side to light side. Yeah, right. Come on, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah. I actually didn't. That was the one part that I wasn't really sure how we were going to do that.
Yeah.
Because it was scripted as he sort of transitions back, to Anakin.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure if it was going to be some special effect or what it was going to be. And so that was just sort of what came to us in the moment, and I really liked that bit too.
Oh, it's beautiful. It was a beautiful performance, so thank you for that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Speaking of,
there's another good one with Anakin and Padme and Naboo. There's a few.
Yes,
that's
the best one.
Yeah, and she says, you're gonna change things for the better, right? Right?
When it came out, that one, it was just the scene, basically, and then the amount of times it's been reused for different, topics in the news is incredible.
I love how creative they can get.
Yeah, it's so good. And speaking of that, speaking of being, in the public eye versus in the private, private versus public. I was going to say a private eye, being a private eye.
I could be a private eye.
Yeah. How do you find that balance? We had the honor, and I've had the honor of interviewing a bunch of times in different cities, and it's always been a joy. And some things have come up that you enjoy doing. So you're an avid farmer, or you were an avid farmer, you have a ranch. You love mowing and snow blowing, and you enjoy making lakes.
I do.
Yeah.
Ponds. I can't.
Ponds.
Lakes maybe one day I'll graduate to lakes, but right now I'm still on ponds.
Yeah. Talk to us a little bit about, for this crowd that hasn't heard, what are your fun hobbies or activities that
I just enjoy the sort of country life, and I like big equipment, and I've got a few toys at my farm, and snow blowing is definitely one of my favorite activities. I've got this Bobcat, which is like a skid steer machine, and it has all these different attachments, and one of them is, there we go, Bobcat fan. Bobcats are the best. And there's a snowblower attachment, and I've got a nice long driveway, and when you get a really heavy snow, the thing will shoot snow like 20, 30 feet in the air, and it's just very satisfying.
I love it. Yeah, it's soothing. It's an actor's interview. And you spoke about your daughter a bit there. Talk about your daughter's relationship with Star Wars. Has she seen Star Wars yet? And how has that been?
She still hasn't seen it. So I was dragging my feet for a while, kind of wanting to hold off. But now she's 9 years old, and I feel like she's at an appropriate age where I could share it with her. And there have been a few times where I've actually offered it up, and I've said, sweetheart, would you like to, watch Star Wars? And we're sitting down to watch something, and there's always something else that she's more interested in. So we're watching a lot of this show called Liv and Maddie right now. So Star Wars. She's like, let's watch Liv and Maddie, please.
There is a Young Jedi Adventures that isn't maybe a bad entry point.
That would be a good one. I agree.
Yeah. But still, it's just nothing, huh?
No, not yet. But I'm hoping soon. Yeah, but I'm waiting on her now.
I love it. All right, this is Jade from Tampa. Jade. Yeah, there we go. This is interesting. Going back to the original prequels, did you talk about the audition process? Specifically, the question is, did you audition for any other roles besides Anakin, or was it just Anakin all the way?
No, but I wanted to.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Well, when I heard that they were auditioning for Anakin Skywalker, I thought that's really cool, but there's no way I'm ever going to get that. And I asked my agent at the time, are there any other roles, smaller roles that they're casting right now that I could be in consideration for? And there was not. And so I threw my name in the hat for Anakin, and it was a very long auditioning process. It went on for a few months, and I don't know, all throughout that process, I never in a million years thought that I was going to get the role.
Yeah.
And I think that really helped me, because I was just able enjoy it a little bit more, and you know, I remember going to meet George Lucas for the first time at the Skywalker Ranch, and I was just so excited to get to be there. You know, with no concept of you know, maybe getting this role, but just hopefully that I would get like a souvenir or like a free mug or something.
You grab something, put it on. Yeah. What was the? Oh my God! Not many people get to just step onto the Skywalker. What was the first thing that you saw, like Star Wars related, at that ranch that was like, oh my gosh?
There's a Yoda fountain.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember seeing that for the first time. I was like, ooh, this is where they do Star Wars.
I love it.
But yeah, it's you know, it's Star Wars everywhere. It's a pretty remarkable place.
It's funny that you say that you weren't. Was it that you weren't interested in that character and was hoping for something different? When you say you didn't initially put in for Anakin, or yeah, what was
no, it just seemed like too big of a role. You know, I was 18 at the time when I first started auditioning for it, and I was working on a TV show in Canada, and just the idea of playing sort of the central role in Star Wars, just it seemed too big. It's not that I didn't want to, of course I would, you know, I was over the moon when I got the role. But yeah, my point being is just that I think, you know, when you don't take things too seriously and you don't sort of focus on the outcome of things, it helps you. You know.
I love that.
But the lightsabers have changed a lot too. And so back then they were these metal lightsabers. So when you got hit on the knuckles, it left a mark. And they would bend and they would get all warped. and it was almost like a bragging point though. Like if we did a fight scene and then one of our sabers was like all crooked, we'd go show it to the other one and be like, hey, look what you did this time.
Can you reveal whose lightsaber was more crooked and more? Yeah.
It was a point of pride, but it, you know, we traded back and forth. But yeah, I mean, especially that you know, that fight on Mustafar. We spent a lot of time training for that. It was something that we knew was coming. We knew there was going to be this big showdown between Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Sure.
And we wanted to make it as epic as possible. Yeah, so we trained and we got the pacing up, you know, to a really nice place. And then when we got to set, we just, you know, we went from 10 to 11, and yeah, we were really cooking.
I love it. Obi-Wan didn't have the high ground. Do you think he still would have beaten Anakin?
No, it was all about the high ground, obviously.
Correct answer.
That's the whole premise of that scene there, you know, and I always thought about it, you know, that like in episode 1 when Obi-Wan is fighting Maul. Maul has the high ground, and Ewan is down, and he does this amazing move, looks over him, you know, cuts him in half. And so I assumed that would have been something that was like, you know, folklore sort of level status, legend status, you know, the Jedi Academy, everyone talked about it, obviously. So then when we got, you know, when I'm confronted with I have the high ground, I'm sure that Anakin was in the back of his head thinking, oh, I'm going to show him. And it didn't work out.
Are you ready to play a fun little game to wrap things up?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Quick note for the text. You don't have to bring it up here. We're just gonna stick with Hayden. All right, this or that, and I'll let you know how the audience voted and how we do. All right, this or that. Would you rather live in Cloud City or live in Naboo?
Ooh, well, I've been to Naboo.
Yeah.
Naboo's quite nice. I would go back to Naboo.
Naboo was the winner. Naboo was the winner.
The winner?
Was the winner.
Good choice.
Hayden, you're Hayden. You would pick Cloud City. Yeah. Would you rather train under Yoda or train under Obi-Wan? You, yeah.
Obviously, Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. Shall the audience win? That was the winner. You're having a birthday party. You can only invite one. R2-D2 or C-3PO? Who do you invite?
You always make me choose.
I always make you choose. It's a new scenario though. It's a birthday party. So who's going to be the most fun at your birthday party?
I mean, I feel bad for, Anthony Daniels is a real, he's in the suit.
Yeah.
So I feel like I need to pick C-3PO.
C-3PO, very nice.
So R2's my guy, right?
So R2's there, R2.
I'm not choosing.
Yeah. Would you rather fly an X-Wing or a TIE fighter? You can only choose one.
Yeah, TIE fighter.
TIE fighter. Would you rather be skilled with a lightsaber or skilled with the Force?
Definitely skilled with the Force.
Yeah.
Use Jedi mind tricks or like cool twirly behind your back move. I think I'm gonna go with
What do you
use the Force.
What do you speak of?